I just saw everyone making sale after sale after sale after sale. And I was like, if they can do it, why can't I?
I don't care what's going on in this moment. Even when my mom would be like, you can go get a job in HVAC, make more money. I'm like, I'll quit when I make a couple mil.
That was the back against the wall moment where I was like, I had to make this work. Never sold 10 grand a week. I went out there 3 days, sold like 12 grand because I had to. Because if I didn't, I was going to have no money left. I wasn't going to be able to pay rent. We were screwed.
This was still a fairy tale to me. And I went to an office for a week and like actually watched it. Boom. Sold like 9 grand that week.
I told Brian one day we're going to have our business and we're going to be in Florida and we're going to be working our asses off to build that.
I had this angst around like, I cannot listen to somebody tell me what to do.
What were you doing before this, Kayla?
So I was actually in school for law, and
Okay.
I was actually I worked part-time at Buffalo Wild Wings as a waitress as well.
Got it. Can I tell you something about Buffalo Wild Wings?
What?
I hate their food. I just do. I don't know. I'd rather have Wingstop, to be honest.
Okay, me too, though.
Wingstop's better than
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Wingstop is
All right,
better.
so we're on the same page there. So you're working at Buffalo Wild Wings, and how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, so you were 20 at the time.
Yes.
Buffalo Wild Wings, in school for law.
Mm-hmm.
What was your plan? Like, what did you want to do with the law degree?
So I actually wanted to change people's lives. I just saw a lot of injustices happening in like just America overall.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm just gonna go there and change things.
Okay.
Make an impact.
Got it. Anyone in your family in law, or were you kind of the first one pursuing that?
I was gonna be the first one.
Gotcha. Okay. And you're from Chicago, suburbs of Chicago.
Yes.
Growing up. What was it like growing up there?
I was always moving around.
Okay.
So like different parts had different effects on me, but for the most part, I grew up in Elgin. It was nice over there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I saw a note here. You said you had to live in cars at one point.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
How old were you?
I was about 12, 13 years old.
Okay. Why? What happened?
So my dad had lost his job at the age of 10, and
Yeah.
then he just never got to find a job after that.
Got it.
So like kind of just trickled down to us as well.
Yeah. And you had brothers and sisters too?
Yes, youngest of 7.
7 of y'all living in a car?
Two of them were really older.
Okay.
But it was like, so 5 of us like grew up together.
Yeah.
So it was like 5 of us plus my parents.
Gotcha.
In a
Gotcha.
car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you remember this?
Yes.
What was
very
that like?
It was I didn't realize how much it had affected me until like even now, like dealing with the childhood trauma and stuff.
Yeah.
But it definitely did take a toll now that I am
Now looking
older,
back, yeah.
looking back, yeah.
What was your dad doing for work before that?
He worked at Johnson Publishing office. I don't know exactly what he did. It has something to do with the computers, a programmer,
Got
something
it.
like that.
A pretty good job.
Really good job, yeah.
Yeah. And what, company closed? Why did he lose it?
So the company had closed, and then also not only that, he had gotten really sick. He was on dialysis.
Okay.
So it's just like, yeah.
Wow, it's too bad. So fast forward, you're in school, you're pursuing this law degree. How do you end up selling life insurance?
So one day I was with my friend. I go to this guy's penthouse because she was dating him, and I'm like, hold on, Raphael, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
He's like, I sell life insurance. I said, no. 'Cause at that time, I had just joined PHP.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then I was like, no, because I sell life insurance, and we're both 20 years old. That's not
So
possible.
you were already selling?
Yeah, well, I
Or
didn't make
starting
any money.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you find the other company?
Oh, Raph, he actually recruited me.
Oh, he recruited you there?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how come you didn't make any money there?
It's just the systems, the leadership.
Yeah.
The leadership was there. It's just the systems wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leads, or what was lead
There
based
was
or
no leads. Like you had to go out and actually like knock on people's doors.
Yeah. Wow.
And like, hey, this is Kayla.
Yeah. I'm
me about
assuming you
that
didn't like that.
No.
No. How long did you do that for?
I did it for about, I want to say a month to 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And didn't see any money besides my mom's policy.
Oh, so you wrote a policy on your mom. Yeah. Nice. And you're just, what would they drop you off, like, or give you some addresses to go random door knock? Were you cold calling, or?
It was just warm market.
Warm market.
Yes.
Okay.
Warm market. You had to call up your parents, friends, aunties.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
Got it. Got it. So you did that for how long?
About 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so did Raphael join us, or like how did the connection with FFL come in?
Oh, okay. So I joined PHP because my boyfriend's dad worked there.
Got it.
Yes.
Was he making money?
Yeah, he was
was.
making money.
Okay.
But I feel like it's because he knows everyone.
Yeah, you got to have a big warm market.
Yeah, yeah. But how I joined PHP was from Raph.
Okay.
He recruited me because of his penthouse.
Gotcha. Okay. And then how'd you end up here?
From Raph.
So he left there, came here.
No. So like Raph,
Yeah.
I was at his penthouse.
Yeah.
He was already working at PHP.
Okay.
Right? And then I saw the penthouse and I was like, okay, I see the penthouse.
Somebody
I see the
somewhere.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he recruited me because of the penthouse.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but that was at the other company.
No, that was at PHP.
Yeah, PHP.
Yeah.
But how did you join Family First Life?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying the wrong name. Family First Life was from Raph. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was
All
saying
right.
the wrong name.
Gotcha. So Raph was with us.
Yes.
Okay, so he recruited you here.
Yes.
But you were already selling or you tried the other company.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you saw the penthouse and figured, well, she's probably making money.
Yeah.
Now, were you still in school? Did you drop out? Like, what happened next?
Yeah, I was actually still in school.
Yeah.
I was still working at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
And I was stuck on not dropping out. I was like, yeah, I'm not dropping out. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Whatever the case was. And then I met Stanley Smith.
Okay.
And he was already making about $80,000 to $100,000 passively income. So I was
Okay.
like, whoa. And like, you're 21. That's awesome.
Right.
So I just saw the vision from there, and that's what made me drop out.
Got it. Were you already selling with us, or did you just kind of drop out on blind faith? And
I had sold one policy with you guys.
you sold one policy and knew that this was it.
Yes.
How?
It was just, man, I walked in the office, and there's so many young people in our office. That's one
Yeah.
thing I love about the agency that I'm with.
Okay.
We're all about 18 to 23 years old.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just saw everyone making sale after sale after sale after sale. And I was like, if they can do it, why can't I?
Right.
So, yeah.
And the complete opposite of where you came from.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was it like? So you said you sold one policy, then you dropped out of school. You quit your job too?
Yes.
Yes. Anyone around you give you any shit like, Kayla, what are you doing? This is crazy, or was everyone supportive?
Actually, my parents were the most supportive people.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, Kayla, if you see the vision in this, we got your back 100.
Okay.
Do what you can do.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, go back to school. But you're young, try it, see if it works.
Got it. And how is it going? Because you didn't really have a sales background, right? I mean, you sold a little bit at the other company, but you're in school, you're at Buffalo Wild Wings. What was it like getting into sales for the first time, for real?
I would say it was a little challenging at first.
Okay.
I did see a lot of success very quickly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, it's a mental toughness game.
Absolutely.
Getting, hung up after time after time after time. It sometimes will take a toll on you.
Yeah.
So I would say it's just, you just have to be mental. It's
What
all
was the
mental.
biggest challenge early on for you?
I would say making sales consistently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Why? You weren't consistent in the beginning?
No, I was not.
Was it work ethic? Was it mindset? What was it?
I would say it was not work ethic, not mindset. It was the structure of my calls.
Okay.
So once I got the structure of my calls down and I knew what I was saying, I was confident in what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's when I started to make sales consistently every single day.
Got it. Before you had that structure down, what would happen on the call?
It's like, it just was everywhere. I'd
Yeah.
be like, hey, this is Kayla. Then I'm talking about prices as soon. I'm like, you got to build value, girl.
Right. That don't work. How long did that go on before you kind of figured it out?
I want to say about a month.
Okay. So
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yes.
What was your activity like at that point? Like, because everyone, there's a learning curve for everyone. And I always say it's a matter of, do you want to make that learning curve short or long, right? And it just comes down to how much work you're going to put in. What was your schedule like day one? Like, how many appointments were you running a day?
I would say I wasn't running, I was about 10 appointments probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wasn't really running many appointments, but I made about, I want to say 800 to 1,000 dials.
Got it.
Yeah, single dials.
And you were doing telesales?
Yes,
And were you doing one call close or setting up appointments?
one call close.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a lot of activity, but just about 10 or so appointments a day.
Yes.
Of those 10, how many would you close early on?
I would say about one.
Really? What were you thinking at that point? Because, you left your job, you left school, you had this kind of dream of doing this one thing. Then you're here, and now you're like, I'm meeting with 10 people and only closing one. Was it still more money than what you were making at Buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but it didn't stop me. I just saw it as like a push forward. A setback is always a push forward. You know?
Okay.
So when I didn't make a sale, I didn't go home and was like, okay, like this isn't for me. No, I just worked hard.
Yeah.
I
And were you in
figured
the
it out.
office?
So we had moved down to Texas actually.
Okay.
Because my upline, he went down to Texas, and then, we don't really change upline. So
Yeah.
I went down to Texas with him
Really?
for about 3 months, 3 to 4 months.
What was that like?
It was crazy. I'd never been to Texas before.
Yeah.
And, that's when people were calling me a little crazy because it's like, hold on, you're dropping out of school and going to Texas?
Okay, so they were supporting you, but now like, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yeah. So that was like the line there. But I was like, I see the vision. I just know I can do it. Like, I believe in myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had an office in Texas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How important is that? Because, like, when I got a license 15 years ago, it was all in office. We were out in the home. We didn't have telesales. And now it's a completely different ballgame. Mm-hmm. Like, you could join us and never even meet the person you're working with face to face, right? Like, that's just how we're set up now. Mm-hmm. But how important was it for you to get to that office every day?
It's so important because the energy is just transferable throughout the whole office. So if everyone's in a good energy, then everyone's making sales.
Right.
And you want to be surrounded by that.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
And especially early on when you're closing 1 out of 10, like how much does it help to know that, maybe it's Stanley or someone right next door that's closing at a higher level?
Yeah, it works. It works. Like my upline, he was closing like, I want to say 5 to 10K a day. I was like, well.
Wow.
Okay, if you can do it, like I said, I can do it.
Right. And that always stuck with you, that mindset.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's funny because when I went to my first convention, it was 2009. It was down in Dallas, Texas, different company. Mm-hmm. And Andrew Taylor. Yes. Right. So I see Andrew Taylor on. He's a few years younger than me. At the time, he's like probably 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this kid used to bag groceries and he made 6 figures last year selling insurance. And the same thing you said, I'm like, wait a minute. That kid right there, like, I love Andrew. I'm like, he made $100,000 selling life insurance and he used to bag groceries. I'm like, I used to bag groceries, shit. But I'm like, if he can do it, why can't I?
We had 25 leads a week.
Okay.
And they were the leads that your upline had the week before. And they're called child safety kits. So they're the worst leads ever.
Right.
So I was used to calling those. And when I came here and they're like, you could buy a mailer for $3.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's the best thing in the world.
Right.
So I started buying like $300 of leads a day when I had no money. And that's what basically got me to this
credit card
point.
or something?
Yeah. Well, I had 2 personal loans, negative checking account, and then 3 credit cards maxed out when I got to FFO.
That's when you got here.
When I got here. So I took 200 of Jay's old leads. Yeah. Me and Lucas, I talk about Lucas a lot. He's been with me since the beginning, basically. We took those leads. Within 15 minutes, we booked 20 appointments for the next day. Okay. That next day, we went out, sold 8,000. The commission hit the day after that, and we were on. Yeah. I was like, and like we weren't very big on spending money. Like, I hate spending money. So it was like, we would literally take that $8,000 and put it into leads. Yeah. Like, that's what helped us blow up is, like, we weren't worried about, okay, what designer I got. Like, I wear a black T-shirt every day. Yeah. Like, I went to TJ Maxx for this one yesterday. So it's like, we wear simple stuff. Like, I'm a very simple person. And that's what allowed us to get into the lead flow to actually blow us up. Yeah. Because in the beginning, I was just waiting to have lead flow.
Dude, it's a great point. You see, just the wrong mentality a lot of times. You get guys that come just like you. Hey, I got credit card debt. I got this. I got that. They get their first commission check, and they're like, I got to go pay off my Capital One bill. I'm like, John, you've had that debt for like 2 years.
Like, it can wait.
It can wait another month. It's like, now you have no money for leads. Yeah, I know, but I paid off my $5,000 credit card. I'm like, yeah, but how are you going to sell next week? Yeah. You're not. But you had this, was that like, I mean, 'cause you're young. How did you get that mentality? Was Jay advising you? Like, how did you know that was the right move?
I just never really cared. Okay. That's the biggest thing. I think a lack of care when it comes to, right in the beginning was a benefit to me because like a personal and negative checking account and you get that low in money and you can't eat and you're paying your credit card off so it has $1 so you fill your gas tank up and like overdo it. Right. Like when you're doing that, you really don't care. No. So it's like my credit was already like a 400. I didn't know about credit repair, which is great. Like I have had credit repair since then, and I'm in good standings now. But it's like, dude, you have 2 late payments. Your credit has already been hit. Right. What do you care? Exactly. You're not going to get a raise on your credit card by paying it off. Correct. So it's like, I was like, okay, I need to spend money to make money. Me and Jay used to always say this all the time. Scared money doesn't make money. Right. Like we would say it we would write it on the mirror, like everything. And it's like, if you're going to be scared, quit now. Yeah. You'll never make it. But if you're not going to be scared and you're willing to invest in your business, and you have to be willing to put the work in. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing. People put money up for leads, don't sell. It's like you can't just buy them and look at them. Right. It doesn't come with the bank info and the social and everything. Like you gotta sell them. Yep. So like that's the big thing is just understanding like you will get compensated for the money and work you put into it. Mm-hmm. And it's like if that's something you want, then go for it. But if it's not, you're in the wrong industry.
Do I remember at the old company, this was like 15 years ago when Sean recruited me, we're selling and the leads, you would put in your lead order, and you'd get them instantly, but you were billed on Friday.
Yeah.
So we'd say, free till Friday, bro. Go make something happen. But I was in the same boat. No money, negative account, whatever. But I learned this hack. I don't know if it still works with a debit card. If you go to get gas and put it in as credit, it doesn't charge anything that day, right? So I got no money in there, but I'm like, I need gas to go run my appointments. My plan was get a bunch of leads, get some gas, go run my appointments, and make some money before Friday to cover it, right? And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So that's it. If you're in that, try that hack. I don't know if it still works, dude. Fortunately, I don't need to do it anymore, but I did a lot of that. Dude, swipe, cross your fingers. Hopefully I can get some gas. But it's like, you got to have that like level of not give up, because is it really the end of the world that, Capital One 5,000 or you're a little late here? You're thinking about the future. Yeah. And you got people living in the now and how bad it is now. Yeah, and that's something I learned early on is like I don't care what's going on in this moment. I'm more of what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. Where do I want to take things? And like even when my mom would be like, hey, like you can go get a job in HVAC, make more money. I'm like I'll quit when I make a couple mil. Like I'm not doing it until then. Like I know this opportunity works for others. Yeah. I've seen there was this one guy that I met early on, dumb as rocks. And he made $300,000 the year before. I'm like, if he did that, right, I could do that. Absolutely. And like that's like she didn't see that, and that's the difference. It's like I'm seeing it live. I'm like, these guys, they're not all there, and they're making money. Correct. And like that's when you see them change into the person they are now. You know what I mean? And they make a big difference in their life. But I always go back to that and think like, okay, I want to do $1 million a month. And then after that, I want to do $1 million a week. Like, I'm not thinking about, okay, I did $500K this month, $600K this month. Like, how can I get to $1 million? You're going to get through that by growing, right? So hiring, and then you're going to get that by selling. So selling more. How can you sell more? IULs, right? Yep. So that's what I did is like I got a bunch of recruiting campaigns going. I hired 20-something people personally last week. And it's like I got the whole team doing that now. And it's like it's a domino effect from there. Right. You're going to get everyone in, and everyone knows they got to get on the vet leads, the IUL leads, mortgage leads, like at the minimum mortgage leads. Yeah. And that's what's going to change to FFL all in, is because before we were all final expense putting up $400,000 a month. Right. Like you get them guys on IULs, it's going to be different. When did you switch to IULs? January. Just January. Yeah. So literally a couple months now. Right. What have you noticed so far? The biggest thing, the closes are higher. Yeah. So higher closes. I've noticed the retention go up almost immediately. So by the ratio, right off. Would yours go up 20% or so? Dude, we were sitting at 68, and now on the VP bonus report, they're coming in 96, 97, things like that, and you're like, dude, like we're placing some business. Yeah. So that's the big thing. I don't know long term because it hasn't stayed on long enough, but I know the stats for the company is 92%, correct? Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's copy and paste. Everything's copy and paste. It was funny. Think about growth and how crazy it is. When we started this company, 2014, our first year, we did about $12 million in life. So last year, you did half of what we did year one. Yeah. So, when you say things like I can get to $1 million a week, that's not crazy. It's not crazy at all. When we got to $1 million a week, Sean said we'll be $1 billion company in 10 years. And that was like probably our second or third year. Yeah. And last year, we missed it by about $200 million. And this year, we'll most likely hit it. 100%. When he said it, though, we had small staff. There's probably like 6 of us. A couple of us just sat there like, dude, I mean, you've met Sean. You're like, he says crazy shit all the time. Yeah. $1 billion, okay. A couple people are like, there's no way we're going to get it. But it's crazy how you speak things into existence. You don't make them a big deal. People make things a big deal. Right. You said this is simple. This is one of the simplest things. It's not easy, though. Not at all. Because you got to work. You have to change who you are most of the time. Most people don't come in as this guy who can go out and write $50K a month or $100K a month. You got to do some work. Right. Like you talked about, redefining your associations in a way, right? Like you don't hang out with the same crowd you did prior to this. Right. Was that hard at a young age to do? So for me, I was around the crowd since, like I said, like 11, 12 years old. Yeah. We would hang out at the park. I'm hanging out with 16, 18-year-olds. Yeah. So it's like my friends were 26 when I was 18. So looking at their life, I'm like, you live with your mom. Right. You have 2 kids with 2 different women and no girlfriend. Yeah. It's like your life sucks. Like you're working at Little Caesars, still selling weed. And I'm like, Right.
It's not what I want. You know what I mean? So that wasn't hard. And then like getting in, they told me like it's the hardest $60,000 a year job and the easiest $1 million a year job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, thinking about that long term, it's like cutting people off isn't hard. If I'm like, I'm gonna make 60 grand this year, I was like, holy shit, that's and that's
to you
hard.
that was a lot.
And
Like at that point,
I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And like so, like I would try to hire on some people. Like certain people, I was just like, not a chance.
Yeah.
But it's like you bring them in, and you start to see their work ethic, and it's like, dude, you have none of the values that I have. Like deep down, whether I knew I had those values or not, I'm like, you're not a respectable person.
Right.
I'm like, your girl works more than you.
Yeah.
Like your girl drives you around.
So you learned early on, I don't want to be where they are.
Not at all.
Even though they're my friends, even though I know them. Well, you don't understand. Like, I've known them since I was 5. I don't give a shit.
What'd they do for you?
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. You could be related. I don't care if you're negative and you're dragging me down or you're in a place where I don't want to be. I don't need to be around you.
100%.
We get to do this thing once, dude. I'm not trying to hang out with you the whole time.
My first year, I just sold basically.
So 403,000 sold personally.
Yep.
How much did you gross that year? Do you remember?
I grossed like it was like 325, 315. I had good persistency, so I grossed like 320, and I netted like 225. I spent a lot on leads.
Yeah. How much you spent on leads?
I spent like 100 grand on leads.
Yeah.
Leads and travel, because I was going to Ohio every other week to run appointments in the field from South Carolina.
Yeah. So it's like, does it cost anything? Oh, it does cost.
Oh yeah.
You do got to spend money to make money. And that's why, like, I always struggle with that. Can anybody do this? You don't have to have a certain background, a certain experience, right? You had no sales background. Most sales experience you had was accepting a sales job and then turning it down.
Turning it down, yeah.
Right? You've never been trained to sell or anything.
Bartending's not sales.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But your first full year in the business, you were number 3 overall?
3 life producer, yeah.
3 life
probably,
producer.
I think like 10 overall because the annuity guys.
That's right. Yep. But it just goes to show you that background doesn't matter. But I will not say anybody can do this.
No.
Because most people would be unwilling to spend $100,000 on leads in their first full year.
Yeah.
Because they're focused on the wrong things. It's all perspective.
I think what I figured out was I just found people who are doing it already, like Sean and different people, and when they would give me advice, I would just try it.
Yeah.
Like someone was like, "Hey, we have mortgage leads open in Ohio." I lived in South Carolina and I had no money. And they're like, "You want to lock them out?" I'm like, "How much going to cost a month? $4,000."
Yeah.
My credit limit was like $2,000, and I had like $2,000 in my bank account. But I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Screw it. Why not? What do I have to lose?"
Yeah.
And that was always my mentality. Like, what do I have to lose? I'm already broke, so who cares?
And then you went on a travel trip.
And then and what happened was I went on that travel trip, and the entire plane flight there, I was like, I am pretty broke. Like, if this doesn't work, I'm probably going out of business. Yeah. So the entire time I remember the whole flight, I sat there like scrunched between 2 people and wrote out my in-home exactly how I wanted it to go. I'm like, okay, like I'm going to do exactly this when I get in there. And it's funny because it's like everyone knows what to do to get 6-pack abs, or everyone knows what to do, like be financially to save money. Like everyone knows what to do, but until you have to do it, you don't do it. And that was the back against the wall moment where I was like, I had to make this work. I never sold 10 grand a week. I went out there 3 days, sold like 12 grand. Yeah. Because I had to. Because if I didn't, I was gonna have no money left to be out. I wasn't gonna be able to pay rent. We were screwed.
Absolutely.
But my back was against the wall. I was flying to a different location. I remember on Allegiant Airlines, flying to Cincinnati, Ohio. Never been to Ohio in my life. I had a bunch of appointments set, and I'm like, these leads are $50 a lead, and they're coming out every week no matter what. I'm not going to roll up leads. Like, this has got to work.
So you had this area locked out.
Yeah.
So, like, for those of you who knew, you're doing different type of leads. Locked out means you are agreeing to take any lead that comes in.
Yep.
And you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
So if 100 leads come in, you're on the hook.
Right.
Right? So how often were you going out to Ohio?
I was going out there every other week, and then I kept adding areas. So at one point, when I had Ohio, Dayton, Indianapolis, and Columbus, and I'd go out there and I'd run for like a week, and I'd go bounce between all those places and come back home and go back the next week. Yeah. So I was gone. It was East and I were looking at this the other year. Before we figured out how to do virtual sales, there was one point where him and I each took close to 100 flights in a year.
I bet.
Because we were flying all over the place, building all over the place, had leads everywhere, going all over the country, and it wasn't because we wanted to do it, it's because we had to do at the time to make it work. Yeah. You know?
At what point did you tell your mom and dad you were doing this?
Probably about 6 months in.
Yeah. So you're already making some money.
I was making good money at it. I was probably netting 15 grand a month.
Okay.
You know,
What'd they say?
I was like, look, I'm doing this insurance thing. They're like, are you going to go back to school? I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I like it. I feel good about what I'm doing. And, yeah, I think I'm going to do this and give this a real shot. Yeah. And I remember I told my dad, I'm like, I like it because it's like what you always taught me with, I feel really good because I'm helping people. Yeah. With something they need. It's just a different way than you do it. Right. I was like, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So at age of 25, grossed $1 million.
Yeah.
This may be a loaded question, but how'd you do it? So
I think I kept the same exact schedule when I was first year, second year, third year, where I was running 30, 35 appointments a week.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people do is as they get better, they start working less.
Yes.
What I did was I just kept this, and I'm just a big disciplined schedule person. I do the same thing every day. People are like, you work out every day. I'm like, I wake up at the same time every day. I work out every single day. I go to my office every single day. I just do this. I just am a creature of habit.
Yeah.
And so I had the same schedule, and I just kept running 30 appointments. But instead of me closing 8 of them, I started closing 15 of them a week, or 20 of them a week. And I got pretty good just by doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Not because I got good, but I knew who to push. I knew who not to push. I got better at people showing up to the appointments.
Well, it's a good point, though, because everyone thinks that, they're missing some piece. I need to get, his sales trick. It's just, it comes with
confidence.
reps, dude.
Most of it was confidence.
That's it.
I'd sit down with you, go, Mike, I know you filled this out because you need it.
Right.
I'm not here to waste your time, BS you. Let's get this taken care of.
Yeah.
And I'm not the young salesperson stumbling around hey, let me explain mortgage protection. You're like, okay, that dude's trying to help me.
But the only way to get from that young salesperson to the guy going, hey, man, I know you need this, is repetition.
30 appointments a week for 3 years, then you get good.
Yep.
You can't skip that.
Right.
You can't skip that. Everyone wants to skip that part. So
Absolutely.
you can't. You got to go through that pain of sucking and putting your back against the wall where you have to make it work, and then you get better.
Right.
So so that part I sold my last year in the field. So that was my second last year in the field. That year I sold, I think, 650. And then I started recruiting that year too.
So you probably made half of your $1 million off your own sales.
Yep.
So about $500K, right?
Yep.
And then the rest was overrides.
It was overrides.
How big was your team?
By the end of that year, we were doing about $150,000 a month. But I was making good overrides because everyone was direct to me. I didn't have any managers.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of spread because I had good comp from selling a lot. So, and people always are like, man, you have to build a team doing $1 million a month to make some money. I'm like, I was doing $150,000 a month.
Yeah.
I probably had 20% spread on my whole team, so I was making a good 20 to 30 grand a month net from my overrides at 200 grand as a team.
But you had guys selling though.
Because I guys selling a lot. It was 10 of us and everyone was selling 30, 40 grand a month.
Right.
And it was profitable. I didn't lose any people. No one turned over because everyone was selling.
Yep. Did it shock you at the end of the year to see where you went, where you were the year before, where you grew to? 25 years old, grossed $1 million. Was any of that shocking?
So I didn't even realize I grossed $1 million until it went through April of that year. My accountant texted me. He's like, "Hey, we need to get together and do a meeting."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, I'm so busy. Let's do it in October. We'll file in October." And then so October that year comes around. He's like, "Hey, we have to do this." And I'll push it till October, but I always pay my taxes every year. I've never missed. I've never filed late, but I've always pushed it till the extended time.
Yeah.
So in October of that next year, we looked at it, and he goes, "You grossed $1 million." I was like, "Oh, for real?" So I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because I was so locked in and focused on just building the business, working, selling. I was working 80 hours a week. I had no idea what I was making.
Yeah.
And I knew there was some money in the bank, but I was like, whatever, we'll just keep putting it back in and figuring it out.
It goes back to, a lot of people have said this over the weekend, but focus on the result, fall in love with the result, or the process, and the results will come, right?
Yeah.
Fall in love with helping people.
Yeah.
And not worried about how much is my commission, and if I sell it just keep doing it, keep helping.
One thing my dad told me from a young age, and we didn't talk about much, but this is one thing I do remember him telling me is he's like, money will never make you happy.
Right.
Doing things that fulfill you will make you happy. Working will make you happy. Being a productive member of society will make you happy.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest lesson I've learned from this whole thing is no amount of money has made me happy, but when I've been the happiest is when I've been working the most, and not working the most hours, but been the most productive working, doing things, feeling innovative, helping other people. All that stuff is much more fulfilling than the money.
Yeah.
I'm not giving the money back because I like it. It's like the scoreboard.
Absolutely.
But doing the work is more fulfilling than the money is.
And to do the work, you have to spend money too.
Yeah.
So notice we said grossed $1 million.
Yep.
What were your expenses that year?
I know that year I netted $300,000. So not that much more than my first year in the business. Because I put $700,000 back in between travel, leads. I was buying leads for people. We had a couple offices going. I had some roll-up debt that year. I paid $150,000 in roll-up debt that year from one person who committed a bunch of fraud.
Wow.
So I grossed $1 million that year, just over. I think it was $1,050,000, $1,050,000, and then I netted $300,000 from that. And I had 3 staff at that point already.
Yeah.
So I was very aggressive with staff, and I was very aggressive with spending money on advertising. Because I knew my goal was always, and Sean taught me this, like my goal was to grow the gross number, to just get the gross number as fat as you can get the gross number, and then figure out the net later. But like you want to, like it's a lot of people do it backwards. They try to have such a good like ROI, like EBITDA margin, all this crap early.
Right.
So none of that stuff matters.
No.
Like it's a lot easier to get your gross number big and then refine your processes and then have the net look really good.
100%.
And I was understood. So that was in that phase. I was like, I'm just trying to get as fat as possible, like put everything back in, pay all my bills, of course, keep a little money, but like how big can we get the money coming in, and then we'll trim up the expenses later.
Right. I think a lot of people, they think too short term. Right? Like, how much can I make this year?
Yeah.
But what you did that year, you grossed $1 million. It wasn't about what you were going to net that year. It was about the next year, that you were building a foundation for what's to come versus how much can I keep day one.
Yeah.
It's like I'd rather have, a 3% margin on $10 million than a 40% margin on $100,000.
Right.
I kept more. Oh, do you? It's $40,000.
Right.
It's nothing.
And my thinking was I can always turn the expenses off.
Yeah.
Like if tomorrow I want to turn the expenses off, I net $80,000 a month.
There you go.
If I turn every expense, and I won't last forever, but I'll net $80,000 a month.
Right.
If I fire all my staff, spend no more on leads, I'll make $80,000 a month for a while.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then the couple years after that is when I started being a little bit more strategic with where we're spending money. But at that point, this is a testing phase, right? And I remember people like Sean or Andrew, other people in the business would call and they go, I found this lead vendor. You want to try this? I found this recruit. And I always wanted to be the person people went to no matter what, because I was always down for everything.
Yeah. What was it like early on? So you had success in sales, gym sales, right? I mean, you're grinding, hitting the phones. This is different. It's lead-based. What was it like your first few weeks?
First 2 weeks, like I said, I'm waking up because you're supposed to start dialing at 8 a.m. So I'm waking up. I'm texting Rob, like, we're going to have a fire day today. This is going to be the day I get my first sale. And then I'm going back to sleep because I'm working from home. And then I'd wake up like 1, 2 p.m. and that's when I'd actually start. Or like I'd wake up every hour or so to text Rob, I'm dialing all day, no success. And then I'm back asleep. And then I'd wake up, play some video games. I'd get on the phone around like 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I put in like quick little 100 dials, I'd get smacked. And then girlfriend would come home. I'd go back to playing video games, spending time with her or whatever.
Got it.
Did that for about 2 weeks. And I was like, all right.
Did you sell anything in those 2 weeks?
My grandma and grandpa.
Nice. How'd you do that? You called them up, you went over, they lived locally?
No, I went to their house. I went to their house, went to the app with them, got them some coverage, took care of them. And then I was like, this isn't going to work. So I started thinking to myself, like, I got to go all in on this. And like part of what was holding me back was my girl. So I got to cut her off.
Okay.
So I did. I packed all my stuff up. Within like one day, we were going to the movies and we were arguing about something. She was lying to my face and she was like, if we're going to argue, let's not even go to the movies. I was like, that's actually a really good idea. I don't even want to do this anymore. She was like, what, you don't want to argue anymore? And I was like, no, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Right.
Busted a U-turn at the red light, went home, packed my bags, was out the door in 30 minutes.
Got it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I went upstairs to another apartment for a little bit. And then I called Rob one night. It was like 3 weeks in at this point. I had sold like 8-9 grand that week because I had went up to an office and like actually seen it in person for the first time. Like I could believe in it.
So part of that you just heard, you didn't really see it.
I had never seen anybody close a deal. I wasn't watching no YouTube videos on it or nothing like that.
Right.
Like this was still a fairy tale to me.
Right.
And then I went to an office for a week and like actually watched it and it boom sold like 9 grand that week. So
what was the biggest thing you learned that week?
That it was real. Like people actually did this. Clients actually buy it, and then
so
I
just kind of doubting it, like.
I just, I'm calling all these people and I'm giving them quotes and they're just like, okay, thank you for the quotes. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
Right.
So then it like sparked it and I got a little more pushy with the clients, got a little more, on top of it, learned a few tips and tricks. And that's when I discovered mortgage protection too. And then from that day forward, I called Rob and I was like, hey, what's the mortgage protection deal? And he was like, here, you can try it. I'll send you some leads. And I was getting my butt kicked on mortgage protection,
Really?
the first like week or two.
Why do you think you struggle with mortgage?
It's just a lot more information based. You got to know the products, you got to know what's approving what, and at that point, I didn't. So, but anyways, I leave my girl. 2 days later, I'm like, Rob's supposed to be flying me out in like 2 days, 3 days, because he's finally flying me out for some contest he was holding at his office. So I call him up. I'm like, hey, have you booked my flight yet? Mind you, this is 3 days before I'm supposed to fly out. He's like, no, I haven't. Why? What's up? I said, perfect, just book a one-way. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, book a one-way ticket. I'm not coming back. He said, where are you going to stay? I was like, well, I got X amount of dollars. The math on that is I can survive this many days. It was like 2 weeks in a motel or whatever.
Yeah.
If I don't make that money in those 2 weeks, I got about another week or two where I can sleep on a floor in the office before I go insane. So I got about 3-4 weeks till I'm down here. So either we make a bunch of money and we make it happen, or I do the most embarrassing thing ever and I call my mom and ask for $500 so I can get a flight back home and go back to living in her house. Not going to happen. So it's going to be option one. We're going to figure it out. And I went down there, and the first night when I flew down there, he let me stay at his house.
Okay.
And I thought he was letting me stay there. So I went to the office next day, left all my bags at his house and whatnot. He's like, bro, you're not like staying here, right? Well, I did. I ended up staying there for like 4 or 5 days, and then I ended up staying with somebody else that I had met down there.
Yeah.
So it worked out. And then like 3 weeks in, I got my own apartment. Ended up getting a car. I got an apartment 2 minutes from the office, so I was just walking to the office every day.
In Texas?
Yep. Ended up getting a car. I deposited like $17,000 my first 30 days.
Yeah.
Spent like 9 of it on leads. I was going all in because I called him and I was like, hey, I suck at this mortgage protection thing, but I see a lot of potential here, so I'm cutting off everything else that I'm doing and I'm going 100% on mortgage. And he was like, dope. And then for a long time, I was the king of age mortgage. There was nobody slinging it
What
like
were you
me.
buying for leads? Old leads?
Yep. I only ran 6 to 3 month age mortgage from Proven.
Yeah.
And that was literally the only lead I touched for like 8 months straight.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the cost, or?
I mean, they weren't cheap.
Right.
It wasn't because of the cost. It was just
What were you paying per lead, roughly?
$8 to $10.
Okay.
Depending on whether they were 3 month or 6 month.
Got it.
So it's just what I went all in on, and I was ripping 40 to 50 grand a month off it in my first couple months, and that was good because it's not like it is now. You know, after being here 2 years, the age has significantly decreased. It's a ton of young slingers, and the office culture has boomed. Right? Because before you guys just transitioned to virtual, it was a work from home deal. Office culture is really booming these last 2 years. So now it's like everybody that's starting now, it's the best time to start.
Yeah.
Because like now, if we plug somebody in, we got 180, 70K a month producers that they're plugging in with. The ceiling's a lot higher. The office I went into, if I was selling 50 grand a month, I was the number one producer in the office. That was crazy. And it was like 40, 50-year-old dudes. So it was like, that was insane.
Yeah.
So this is the best time by far.
So with us, your first year, how much did you sell? You got your numbers here.
Well, I did. I started in May,
something.
so 270 was from May to December.
Okay.
And then that next year I did Hall of Fame. It was like over. But if you do the actual first 12 months, I'm pretty sure I was Hall of Fame then as well.
Yeah. But your first full year, 24, you hit Hall of Fame, 400K. But your agency is kicking ass. I mean, you guys are at these numbers are backdated a little bit, but over 13 million so far. Or your numbers better than me.
Yeah, we're at like 14.6 right now. Yeah.
And you said to me before we got on that your goal is to get to 10 million a month before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our drop dead, not our goal.
Drop dead.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you need to do that?
Bring in, I always look at it as this. There's always 2 ways you can do it. Either the people you already have better start
selling more,
tripling.
Yep.
Or you got to bring in X amount of people. And I always start with the first one first. Mm-hmm. So when I look at it right now, I'm going to go back home, right? I'm going to look at all of our numbers. I'm going to analyze everything, and I'm going to say, okay, step 1, 0 recruiting for 2 weeks. I don't want a single new agent in here. Here's what we're going to do for the next 2 weeks. Every single agent in this office, in our building, is 1, going to get paid, but 2, going to grow exponentially. We're going to double everything we have. Once we've done that, so we've raised the bar, we've raised our guideline, and all the 60 new agents we already have aren't just getting swept up and rolled in with new agents getting left in the dust. They're all, set and getting paid. Then we'll open the gates back up, and we'll do that for a month or 2. Now we got another 60, 70 bodies. All right, shut them down. We will grow this. So first thing when I'm growing, I always look at first, not bringing in new stuff to add to the growth, because that's not really growing. Like, yes, my numbers are increasing, making more money. Technically, my business is growing, but the people in my business aren't growing. And that's what's actually important. So step 1 is always just shutting down the flow of people and just getting everybody in our building paid.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to add people.
Would you agree that most people are not at capacity? Most people...
Nobody's at capacity, right? Because there's no such thing as a limit. It's like, I have this limit. This is the most I can do. Well, then you do it, and you realize, I can do more. Correct. So you're never going to be at your capacity.
And you have a lot. What's your average age for your agents? And
19, 20 years old.
And most of them probably didn't come from money.
No.
This is something that is, I think it's key to growing an agency with guys your age, because you got someone who, they didn't come from money. So whatever they're making now, dude, it's like it's like they won the lottery, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep them motivated to do more when they're
That's
good
the hardest
financially,
part.
right? Like
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you show them I'm making $700-800 a month, they realize that their 20,
Leave from the
30
front.
ain't that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm, here's the deal: is I'm in the office every day still to this day. Like theoretically, I could probably be retired right now.
Right.
But there's no point to it because that's not going to get us $10 million a month.
Correct.
So I'm in the office every day. Every now and then I'll touch the phones once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But main thing is just like always being present, trying to be on time. And, the reality of it is I'm not fit to answer that question yet because those are the things I'm struggling with now. At 22 years old, it's like, well, one day I was making 20, 30 grand a month. Next thing I know, it was 100, 200.
Yeah.
Wasn't satisfied. Well, then it exploded. Now it's 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 a month.
Right.
At 22 years old, it's getting harder and harder every day to wake up on time. It's getting harder and harder every day to stay later. It's getting harder and harder every day, even when I'm at the office, to actually focus and work and not just like do something random on my phone.
Because you're good.
And that's the
But
that's
how
the
many
problem.
agents do you have right now?
We're at like 200.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing is we got a lot of people that still need help. And it's not
Correct.
fair. It's not fair to them just because I made it that I don't give them the same opportunity to make it that I had because I'm not present.
Sure.
So, it's a hard, dude. It's a hard pill.
Yeah. But that's your answer. It's, can I get them to where I'm at, and then where do I go? You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not easy, but that's the answer.
And it's hard because I know, like, there's a lot of people, and they start making 30, 40. I got a kid came in first 4 months is making 60, 70 grand a month. It's like, dude, he's nowhere to be found half the time. Nowhere to be found. Shout out Josh.
Yeah.
In the office,
Where you at, bro?
where you at? Nowhere to be found. He finds it like all of a sudden he's going to the gym in the middle of the day. All of a sudden he's got to, meal prep at night, so he's got to leave early. All of a sudden he's got to take care of his family on the weekends. It's like, bro, where did all this come from? You weren't doing none of this when you were broke.
I dropped out, then I started living with some cousins of mine for like 2 months.
Where, in Chicago again?
Yeah, in Illinois, and then I eventually just went back home, and then I kind of fell into like a slump pretty much for like 2-3 months. I wasn't working. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just literally doing nothing at home, just like I was kind of lost for a while.
Gotcha.
But I knew every time like someone would ask me, like I have a cousin of mine that I got him on now, and he's doing pretty good numbers now.
He's selling with us.
Yeah, and he graduated from college too.
Yeah.
And he prefers doing this.
Yeah.
But he'd always ask me, like, hey, what's your like plan now since you're not going to school? You got to figure out like what you want to do long term. And I remember I would always tell him, like vividly remember, like I'd always tell him I'm gonna get into sales or.
So you knew you wanted to get into sales?
Yeah, because I mean that's the only really.
Was your sister in sales at that point? Or
no, she was in.
You were still in school.
Yeah, she was still in school, and then she always had like an entrepreneurial like mindset. Like I remember her telling me, hey, like I want to start this like fitness clothing brand, things like that. I was starting to make up a logo and things like that.
While you were in school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
Just like wanting more.
Yeah.
Like for family, long term, just like I felt like I was capable of doing more than being at that position or just like another person, just like walking around, just doing average.
Right.
And I told Brian one time, and this was when I was still like doing medical assisting. I told him one time, I was like, I think at that point I was trying to transition over into like the sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, like, one day we're going to have our business and we're going to be in Florida and we're going to be working our asses off to build that.
Yeah. You spoke it into existence.
Yep.
How'd you get into sales? So you were in school still. Were you working as a medical assistant while you were in school?
Working as a medical assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, you were. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And then from there, how'd you end up in sales?
So I saw somebody post it on social media, and it was just a calculator.
Okay.
It was a calculator, but it was something that I never was introduced to. I feel like I was always kind of like left out of like opportunities like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was exciting to find something that I led myself into.
Okay.
Like nobody, I always felt like people had like some secret thing that they were doing. I'm making this.
So they're keeping it from you.
Yeah. I always felt like I was left out.
Got it.
So I was like, okay, you know what?
So you just came across somebody's post. Was it somebody you knew or?
No, it was somebody random.
And what, it was a calculator that showed you how much money they made or allegedly made?
Yeah, it was just numbers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know whether that was actual money.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, just tell me about what I have to do.
So you didn't know it was life insurance?
Nope.
Did you know it was sales?
Yeah, I knew it was sales.
Okay.
Some sort of sales.
And then because of the amount, you decided to just reach out to them?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then what happened from there?
So then I started at that captive.
Okay. So you got a license.
Yeah.
And this is a captive company?
Yeah.
Leads?
No.
No. What, just your friends and family?
Yeah, war market.
Yeah.
Anybody that you could find on the street.
Yeah.
Get them life insurance.
Did you make any money there?
No.
No. How long were you there for?
Like 3-4 months.
Okay. And then you recruited Breon as well, right?
I brought him in like before I even started. I told him.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey, like I'm going to start here. Like this is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to make it happen. Like finally, this is an opportunity and we're going to get like shit done.
Yeah.
And
so she just called you up and told you what you were going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of glad like
it
came and like fell into my lap in a way, because that's something I always wanted to do. Like even when Monse was talking about like building like a fitness brand or something, she told me like I could run like the sales aspect of it, because I'd always say like I want to get into sales or something.
Yeah, so you always wanted to get into sales.
Yeah, and then she started there, and then I pretty much started at the same time. Like she was still doing like her onboarding and things like that when I was barely starting. And I was just like,
what did you think when she called you out the blue, like, hey, we're going to do this?
I was happy. I was happy because I wasn't doing anything.
Was this during that time you were staying with your cousin and trying to figure out what to do?
No, I was back. I was back home at this time. I was just bumming at home. Okay. If I'm being honest, like I didn't really have anything.
I mean, in fairness, you were young. What were you, 19 at the time or something? Like, I know people, or I've heard stories of people in their 40s that are still doing that. So at least you got it out of your system.
Yeah.
Right? But so she calls you out the blue, and then you're like, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah, I was. She just let me know, like, hey, I'm starting this. Like, I want you to come check out the office and meet everyone there, hear like other like testimonies, and I mean, from my first experience there, I thought it was gonna be great. Like, all these people are making this much. They're showing me like calculators, like, yo, I just made this much. I was like, cool. I mean, I'm on board. Yeah. I didn't have anything to lose. And then we were there for like 3-4 months. I was like, all right, why haven't I done my calculator yet? When's my calculator gonna come?
What was the issue? Like, did you just didn't have enough people around you to sell to, or how come you didn't make money there?
Well, one, like I was already isolated like long before I went into sales, so there's no way that like I was trying to reach out to people and they would just be like, what are you talking about? Like, get out of that scam. And so like I didn't have any warm market. I didn't have any friends to talk to. Like I literally isolated myself. This is something that I wanted to do. And it was like, finally make it happen. I don't want any distractions. I want to like clear focus. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we didn't have any warm market to sell to. And the only people that we talked to just didn't even know we were calling them about life insurance. So we just had, it didn't matter though. We put in the work, whatever we had to do, we had to do. And then most of my sales, I think I had like at least 3.
Okay.
And
3 sales in 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was one of them was in Panera Bread.
Okay.
It was in person.
Somebody you knew or a random person?
Just a random person.
Yeah.
And then another one was an in-home. So most of them were face-to-face.
Got it. So you made 3 sales, 3 months, and then I guess at what point did you realize, you know what, this ain't working anymore. We can't do this anymore.
So for me, it was like, this is working.
Okay.
But there's more to it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like I wasn't going to give up on sales in the industry.
Sales in general.
Sales in general. And I was like, okay, there's more to it. I felt like I went back into a 9-to-5 with being there. Okay. And I felt like I still was putting in the work to be surrounded by even like higher, like more to it. Like, yeah. So I seeked more opportunity. Like I was seeking like more knowledge on the industry.
Outside of that company?
Yeah, outside of the company.
So you started looking elsewhere? Or?
Yeah, I actually started Googling the definitions, like the differences between like insurance broker, like captive agent.
Did you go to the people you were working with for help, guidance? Like, hey, I'm not making money.
I went to somebody once.
What did they say?
They said, don't do that.
So don't do what?
Insurance broker.
Okay. Oh, so you asked somebody there about being a broker and they said don't.
Don't.
Why? What was their reason? None.
It was just like the things that already happened in that company, but they just made it worse.
Got it.
And so after that, I was like, I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
I was determined to just do it. Like I wasn't when I was asking the person, I wasn't asking them for like advice on whether I should do it. Mm-hmm. It was just more curiosity. Like, does anybody else know that this exists?
Right.
And then
when you're at a place like that, they make you think that what they have is the only thing out there.
Yeah.
Right. Like we started at another company before this. It wasn't captive, but we had low comp. We had charge for everything. There were fees for everything. And anytime we'd ask anything, they would just say, that's how it is. That's how it works. There's nothing else out there. This is the highest comp. And then kind of like what you did, we started calling around. We're like, wait a minute. They give out comp here? Then why is our comp all the way down here? Oh, they actually have leads that aren't shared by everybody. Why do I get the same leads that you have? You start asking questions. That's the thing. If you start asking questions at your company and they tell you to shut up or they don't answer you, go look somewhere else for the answer, right? Because they know the answer. They just don't want to share it with you. So how long did that go on before you found us? Did you look at any other companies first, or?
No. So to me, it literally wasn't about like the company.
Okay.
It was more about like I was bought in more into like the vision that I had long term. And I knew that like, thankfully Family First Life had that vehicle.
Yeah.
And so I took the opportunity on and I called Breon. And I was like, hey, we're moving to Florida and we're making it happen.
Okay.
And then,
how'd you land on us though? So you're looking for any opportunity.
Yeah.
What did you find that led you to Family First Life?
So I spoke to somebody in Family First Life, got their input on it, and I also did more research on it as well.
Yeah.
I saw it. It is like one of like the highest like paying IMOs. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, obviously logically it makes the most sense.
So did you like, just like your other company, did you find an ad or something online, or you searched for like high comp leads and found us, or?
No, it was just, I just spoke to somebody in it already.
Okay.
And I got their input.
Yeah.
And I also just saw it in person too.
Okay.
I saw it in person happening. I saw the live sales.
Yeah.
The constant sales, like minute by minute. And I was like, no way. Like, how does this exist?
Yeah.
And so I knew logically, I did the decision logically.
Okay. And you didn't have leads over there. You saw was that something you were looking for specifically, leads, or is that just, something you found with us?
No, it wasn't. It was more about like, I knew I had more potential.
Yeah.
And I knew that I also wasn't like, I had somebody else dependent on me as well. Mm-hmm. So I knew that if they were in this opportunity, could make that, if I saw other people making that many sales, this Breon could have the exact same opportunity to make that many sales.
So how'd you end up in Florida?
I just flew. I flew down.
Who'd you talk to, Jay?
There was somebody else in the agency with Jay, and we flew down, and that's just what we did, for 9 months straight.
Yeah,
in Florida.
Now, it's to you it seems like nothing, but that's a big deal. You're in your early 20s, and have you ever traveled outside of this? Mm-mm. So, but prior to going to Florida, what's the furthest you've gone outside of where you've grown up?
Probably like Chicago.
Okay, so the next couple of times, so.
like 45 minutes away.
So you on a whim, just like, I'll go to Florida. Like, did they ask you? Did you ask to go? How did you end up going? Like, just hopping on a plane, going from Chicago to Florida?
Well, the thing is, like, I already felt like people that did things in like this world took on risks like that.
Okay.
And I knew that I wasn't going to give up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to quit. And I knew damn well I wasn't going to be somebody on the street.
Yeah.
So no matter what it took, I was going to make it happen. And when we flew down to Florida, we were sleeping on like air mattresses, like months straight. We didn't have a car, we didn't have a house. or just sleeping with our in our mentors floor, just making things happen.
And you went by yourself first, or you brought Breon with you?
I went by myself first,
Okay.
and then I also told Breon I'm flying back, getting my stuff, and then that's it.
Okay. And did you know that she went down there in the beginning, or?
Yeah, she was gonna give me a heads up that
Okay.
that hey, I'm gonna go check it out. I wasn't expecting hey, I'm moving out here 6 to 8 months. You coming with me?
Yeah.
But
And what were you thinking at this point? Because you were with her at the other company. She made 3 sales. Did you make any sales there?
I made one sale.
You made one.
It was like a $1,300 sale. I only got paid like $350 from it.
Okay.
So then I was like, I mean, yeah, we can take that risk.
Okay.
So she called me up. It was like 10 p.m. and then just FaceTimed me, and she was just explaining to me how hey, these people are making this much money.
Yeah.
There's sales like every other 5 minutes, and I was kind of like mind-boggling because we were getting threatened to get kicked out of the office.
Yeah.
If we didn't meet a 5K goal, daily goal. And we weren't even hitting that back there. So I was like, yeah, I mean, no one else is making money here. So might as well just fly out there, see what it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario.
I feel like what I got to lose.
Yeah. And then we flew out there. We were just working nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we first landed, I kind of had like a weird feeling like in my stomach. It was like I was excited, but also nervous and worried. Like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But every day we were just relentless, like going in there, being the last ones to leave, making all the mistakes you got to make to be able to progress.
Yeah.
As a producer at the start, because we had no agency at the start. Like, we weren't recruiting. We were just trying to make money. We had nothing. Like, once I had, I always tell everyone this, like, once I had negative $10 in her checking account,
Yeah.
and I had $20 in my checking account. So I sent her $10 so that way it was even. And that's just like something that I'll always memorize.
Yeah.
And, like,
This is when you were down in Florida.
yeah, this was like the second month out there. And it was kind of crazy because I was hanging out with all my closest friends I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, they had no clue what I was doing or that I was going to leave. And then I didn't see them. No one, not family, friends, for like 6, 8 months.
You guys were down there for 8 months?
Yeah.
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 For like 9 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had an Airbnb, and we were out there with other new agents. A lot of them, I don't even know what they're doing now, because it's a really difficult industry. So
you joined. What month was this when you went down to Florida?
This was March.
March of last year.
Because we got there like last week of February.
Okay.
But in March is when we actually were able to actually start selling and, producing.
So you started in March, and we talked about your production. You ended up, what was it, like 260 something? What'd you make last year?
Last year, on all my W-2s and taxes, it was $114,000.
Okay. What's the most you made prior to that?
Prior, nothing. I had no job
nothing.
before. I dropped out. I dropped out of school, and then I was working, but I was just getting paid cash. Like, I was doing a contracting job with my dad.
Yeah.
Just like manual labors, using my hands. And then I got into captive company with Monserat.
Yeah.
And I made one sale.
So you made $350. So from $350 to $114,000.
Yeah.
What is that like, coming from, not a lot, struggling to get by, going to college, trying to figure out what the hell am I doing, and then making 6 figures before the age of 21?
It was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It was crazy I couldn't even fathom it. Like, my first sale, I was just waiting, refreshing my emails. Like, when am I going to get this commission statement?
What'd you make on your first sale?
It was $800.
$800.
Yeah, and it was a $1 lead. I spent $1 on it.
Spent $1.
Yeah.
$800 or $800 premium, or $800 commission.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah. So it was kind of crazy. That's when I had like a realization. I had like an epiphany at that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, if this worked once, let me try it again. Keep doing the right stuff and see where it takes me.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what we did for months straight. And then, luckily it all worked out.
You have to have a mentality when I think you're an entrepreneur where like you're you're thinking bigger, you're making more money, you're thinking like on this bigger level.
Yeah.
But you have to match that with like, you could lose it in an instant.
Right.
And I have that just in me. Like, I'm like, all right, like one, we haven't arrived. Like there's a lot more I want to do. What's amazing about this business is the cash flow that it gives you. It can help you to do other things that you want to do.
Yeah.
So like, just look at it for what it is and don't ride the high and be like, oh, like we've made it. Like we haven't made it.
Right.
Like, yes, we're happy where we are, but there's more to do and you could literally lose it at any minute.
Yeah. So you're kind of almost always looking over your shoulder. Like,
100%.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, it's been an impressive run. People that look at you, like you do get that, well, Steve doesn't need to get on training. But it's funny, every time we talk, you're like, dude, I get on all the training. It's what I try to explain to everyone. The top guys get on everything. It's the ones in the middle that like, oh, I don't need to get on. I already know how to sell, dude. I don't need to listen to you, Steve. Mm-hmm. I learned how to sell last year, and I'm good now. You're like, dude, but you do like $200K a year.
Right.
My man's done that in 2 months. But you still get on as much training as you can.
Absolutely. Because there's always like one little thing.
Yeah.
It's not to say like, yeah, you're going to hear an hour call and you're going to hear an hour worth of stuff that's going to change your life.
Right.
You're going to hear probably one thing when you've been doing this a long time, and it's like, it could be a word track. Like I was talking to this agent this morning.
Yeah.
And she's talking to me about doing mortgage appointments. Mm-hmm. And she's talking about how she'll communicate to the client about, hey, the bank's going to foreclose on your house in 3 months. And she uses that in her pitch in that 3 months. And then when you're doing equity protection or what have you. And I was like, man, I don't do that. I'm like, I'm going to start doing that.
Right.
Like, now I write a hell of a lot more than this person.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that makes sense.
Right.
I need to tweak that.
Yep.
And that's where that mentality comes. Like, if you think you know it all, like you're dead.
You're done.
You're going to you're going to ride the wave for a little bit.
Sure.
But it's going to come and bite you soon.
Yep.
Because you think you have it all figured out. Like, be confident in what you do, but there's a lot of learning to do, and you better be out there doing it.
Absolutely. I saw this TikTok the other day. I forget who it was. It was some Major League Baseball player taking ground balls. And the quote was like, you got kids that, don't want to do this because it's boring. They already know. But this guy's in the major leagues. Only a small percentage of people make it there. What's he spending? Probably an hour doing? Fielding routine ground balls.
That's right.
Basic ground balls, nothing crazy, not no Derek Jeter jump. It's just right here. And that's kind of like what getting on the training is, dialing, doing the stuff that you already know how to do, but repetition will help you get to perfection or as close to that as you're going to get.
And think about, I'm a Yankee fan, right? So Aaron Judge, amazing player.
Absolutely.
Drops that fly ball in the World Series.
Right.
Routine. He's done it a million times. And I'm not trying to pick on him. I love him. He's an amazing player. But to that point, like, focus on that little stuff. That little stuff could have been the difference of them winning a World Series and losing one.
Absolutely. And it was. I mean, that ending was atrocious.
Right. That was the catalyst.
Yep, absolutely. Once that started, it was just a domino effect. And I think that's what happens in business too, right? Like, it's these small things that you don't correct, that you don't fix, you don't pay attention to, and then all of a sudden it's a domino effect, and next thing you know, you're like, volume's down, I'm not recruiting, oh, we got debt, all this stuff. It snowballs, but it starts with something small, What have you been doing on the recruiting side? Because, I mean, goal's $10 million.
Yeah.
I think you'll hit it. You were top 10 from a profitability standpoint last year. And that, I mean, full transparency, it's something that I don't want to say you struggled with, but you were early on. You struggled with building a team, right? It was up, down, up, down. Like, I remember you like, dude, I can't figure this shit out. Like, but you're gaining some traction now.
Absolutely.
Why? What have you changed?
I think one, in building like kind of the brand of like what I sell and like what our team is doing with a lot of social media, the attraction marketing there has been helping. And then me reaching out to people through Instagram and just trying to have like better connections with people and finding the people that want to legitimately do this and they want to start businesses. I don't even like to talk a lot in recruiting conversations about quote unquote insurance until I understand if you're the person that I think understands running a business. Because that's like number one. Like, I could teach anybody to sell insurance. Selling insurance, we sell 3 types of products. They're pretty cut and dry. People fill out leads and want it. But I need you to understand how to run a business. So there's been a lot of that through social media. And frankly, I'm very picky of who I want to work with. We've all made mistakes and recruited the wrong people. It's how business goes.
Right.
And you learn your lessons. And then I think the second thing would be the good leaders that I have on my team, empowering them more, and they're finding now kind of that next level. So it's becoming a multiplication. We're not where we want to be yet, but I feel like we're on our way. And you just got to keep chopping the axe and figuring things out.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, through February, about 900,000.
Yeah.
Good way to start the year. Obviously, you're picking up a little bit.
Yeah, but it should be higher.
10 million is very doable.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
starting the year at 900.
We're going to do it.
You know, people watching it that don't know you probably think, dude, this guy must have been in sales since he was like 5. Like, how's he selling this? But you have not been, right? No. Your background was restaurant business.
100%.
Yeah. How long were you in the restaurant business for?
Like 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Why'd you make the move to sales?
I just wanted more. Like, I remember, working in restaurants where it was just, you were very capped at where you were going to be. You had a lot of people making decisions for you on where your next career move was going to be. There weren't as many opportunities. And if there were, you had to move. And I had this angst around, like, I cannot listen to somebody tell me what to do anymore. Yeah. It just was not matching my personality. And I'm like, I'm good at, like, a lot of these things and, like, kind of leading myself. I need something like that.
Right.
And then sales, I think, was natural, and I think my personality and kind of how I was able to connect with people.
Yeah.
And then you throw in hard work and, the system we have, and it's like this recipe for good things when you put it all together.